Hey, this is Dominic Aloncar, the Entrepreneur in Residence at Futurepreneur Canada. I'm here to take you through part 2 of the cash flow template tutorial. In this section, we look at budgeting for 24 months, which is money in and money out, a foundation for any business starting up. We'll take you through the process using our template. So if you're ready, let's dive into the cash inflow. Start by opening the Futurepreneur cash flow template. Go to Cash Flow Year 1 tab. Our template is a 2-year projection. However, each tab is 1 year. So we have Cash Flow Year 1 and Cash Flow Year 2. Cash flow is a reflection of what you write in your business plan. So everything you describe in your operations and marketing should be a reflection here on your cash flow. This is an interdependent relationship. So remember that the cash flow doesn't necessarily have new information. Most of this should relate to what you've written already in the business plan. So let's begin. We are year 1 of your cash flow. The first step is identifying your sales categories in step 1. You will notice there are various categories. We have 4 different categories that you can use as you wish, and you can change these sales. This is the sales assumptions. Part of the business plan is that you're making an assumption to what your sales will be and roughly what the products are. So in this particular example, we are using Amar's protein shake, who also happens to have a nutritional consulting business. So he has nutritional products and he comes up with an average price. And because he has shipping, he's selling online, those are fees that are coming into his pocket. So he estimates on average what those fees would be. And then he also has a consulting business, and in this particular case, it's $150 per client. Remember that for those businesses that have multiple products and services, you will need to group them in categories. So what some entrepreneurs do is they have high-end, mid-range, and low-end products. Or if you've got categories such as swimwear, you may have categories for swimwear for men, swimwear for women. For each business, it's different. However, you want to make this as simple as possible, but yet realistic. So I find that coming up with average prices will not only give you some indication what you can expect, but also gives you the number of clients to shoot for. Step 2, estimate the sales per month. Now, this is where many entrepreneurs find this quite difficult. Keep in mind that these are projections in terms of sales. If you've used the business plan writing template, we have some examples on how to estimate sales per month. What we're looking for, what anyone is looking for, is a rationale for your sales. How did you come up with those numbers? What you're really doing is you're tying your marketing strategy with some clear marketing activities you'll be doing in the month, and how will that translate into sales? It's never an exact science. It's really about making some underlying assumptions and then following through on those. So for example, avoid vague statements such as, we'll do social media in December and therefore I will have 8 nutritional products. What specifically will you be doing with your social media for that month, and how does that translate into sales? So inasmuch as marketing is your biggest challenge, it's probably your best investment in time in figuring out what your sales forecast will be. Now, you'll also notice that you'll have some adjustments in terms of your peak seasons, high seasons, and low seasons. In this particular example, because he's starting out, you can see that December and January are low seasons, and then they pick up. So all of these variables are things that you, as an entrepreneur, when you're doing this, will need to think about. There's nothing rigid. However, it's more about being as precise as you possibly can. Also, you should do the same projections for cash flow year 2. You can see the tab there at the bottom. When you click on that, you can continue the projections for year 2. There's a bit more leeway in terms of estimating sales forecasts. Sometimes what most entrepreneurs do is they add a percentage. And we're okay with that as long as it's reasonable and it makes sense. So your real focus should really be on your first year of operations and how you've come up with the sales rationale. Step 3. You'll notice in this section, under the average dollar of sales, you place in the amount of dollars that you expect to get per product or per service, and that will automatically calculate following right through to year 2. Keep in mind that this is money you plan on getting in your pocket. However, one thing to keep in mind is that if, in fact, you don't get paid in that month, you make a sale, then you're going to have to change this. A cash flow is the money you actually receive in that month. So that's something just to think about when you're doing this. The other thing you'll notice here is that the funding sources are automatically filled in. So in our particular case, Futurepreneur loan funding and BDC loan funding is both $15,000. You don't have to worry about that. Keep in mind that when you filled out our startup costs, that will automatically be filled in. Once you do all of this sales forecasting, make sure you replicate the same process for year 2. And you can see that below there's a Cash Flow Year 2 tab. You can click on that and follow the same procedure. Also notice that if you scroll right across on your screen, it adds up all of the sales for the year. The cash flow also adds up all of the totals for your expenditures and your sales, and it's a good indication of what you can expect for the year. Now that you had a chance to do the sales forecast and cash inflow, we turn our attention in video 3 to cash outflow and expenditures. In that section, we'll also look at income statement. See you there.